Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Alex from WooCommerce. Today we are here to learn how to design a beautiful wishlist button that looks good in shape, color and position. If you're ready, let's get into it. Okay, to start customizing our wishlist button, we should go to Wishlist plugin settings. And from there open the Wishlist button tab. Here you can see different boxes that are related to product page or product listings and customizing text and colors and other options. The first box is for single product page. This is your regular product page that people may visit. The first option you should define is the button position. Here we have 10 different options for the wishlist button position, that 4 of them are related to add to cart, 4 of them are related to product image, and there is another that one of them is related to product description, and the last one is the shortcode that enables you to locate the button wherever you want. First, let's see the overall performance of the button position. So let's try and see how top left option performs. So let's go to the website and open a single product page. We can see that the top left option locates the button here. Let's change the position and move it to another place on the image. So let me select, for example, bottom right. Let me save the settings and open the website again. Now we can see the position of the button has changed. We can choose 4 different places on the image for the wishlist button. We can locate it here, here, and here. So we can locate it on the 4 corners of the image. And some of the options are related to add to cart. So let's check, for example, before add to cart form and see how the wishlist button performs. So let me save and refresh the website to see the changes. So now it's located here. If this is the add to cart form, the button has moved here. If we chose after add to cart form, it's probably moved here. Now let's move it near the add to cart button. So let me select after the add to cart button. Let's save the settings and refresh the website. Well, now the button has moved here. It seems that this location is better than other options on the single product page. However, we have other options. For example, let me choose after summary. Okay, this means put the wishlist button after the product description. Although if we take a look at the wishlist documentation, it doesn't recommend this location because of a proper reason. Look, if this is the short product description, the button have moved after this. I mean, it's the worst place you can imagine for the wishlist button. So try not to locate the button here. And I think the best places are near the add to cart button or on the product image, because those are the most recognizable locations. And the last option to locate the button is to use shortcodes. It's pretty simple actually. You just need to copy the shortcode and paste it wherever you want and the button will appear there. For example, let me copy the shortcode and go to the product page and edit the product. For example, I want to locate it near the price or near the product title, and I think I should paste it here, and let me update the product information and see what happens. Now preview changes. Well, you can see the button has moved here, but let me be clear, the location of the wishlist button is based on your website theme and the overall design of your product page. But for my website, I think the best place is I like the after add to cart button. I think the button shows itself more. So let's place it there. Now we have other options. The next option is the button type. Let's see what each type presents. As you can see in the GIF, the first item is icon only. The second option is text only, and the last one is the combination of icon and text. So let's check each item one by one. First, let's try icon only. If we select use theme default, let me enable this and see how does this perform. Let me save and refresh the website. Now we can see the color and shape of the wishlist button has changed, but really I'm not into the color and the overall display of the button, so let me modify the button manually. So I turn the default theme off and we change the option manually. Okay, let's see what do we have here. First we should define the button icon. Okay, we have several options for the icon. We have heart, save, plus, gift and star. That I think there are additional options that may not be very handy. Or we can choose a custom icon and see what we should do. Here the plugin says we should upload an SVG file for the custom icon. It says we should open the SVG file on Notepad and copy the code here. Well, I have an SVG file on my computer, so let's open it on Notepad and let's copy the whole text, then paste it to the box that is related to custom icon. We can see the code is pasted here. Okay, and the next option says also upload the SVG file for the product edit text. Here the plugin enables you to upload a different SVG file for the product edit, but I think it's not necessary and I'll leave it blank. Let's save the settings and see what happens. Okay, now you can see my custom icon has replaced with the previous button. And now this is our add to wishlist button. But to be honest, I think the plugin has defined useful icons for the wishlist button and the custom icon may not be necessary. I think I'll go with the save icon. Okay, the next option says you should define the icon style. Here we should choose the icon size and color. Well, based on my website's dominant colors that are white and red, I should keep my wishlist button color in a range of red and white. I want to make the background red, so I choose the icon color white. And the hover color that shows when the cursor moves around the button, I'll try red. Okay. And for the background colors, I want to choose red. And I want to choose the background color white or transparent. There's no difference because my website background is white. And also try the border color white and the border color hover also let's try red. Let's see what is the outcome. Okay, I think that's not bad. I mean, the color and the shape is okay, but I should make some changes for the position of the button. But based on my website, I think a combination between text and icon will be the best. We'll check it later. For now, let's continue to the settings. Now we should define the button size. Here I think it's better to open the documentation and see what does it say. So we'll check out the documentation. Here it shows what each item represents. The border width is here. And these two options is for the width and height of the icon. And border radius shows the changes here. We can choose a radius for each corner of the icon. And the margin shows the distance from here to here. So according to the documentation data, let's change the border width. I think it's not necessary to choose a large number for the border width, so I'll go with like 3. And for the height and width of the icon, I think based on what we saw previously on the web page, these two options are okay for now. Border radius, let's see the tooltip. Okay, we can define radius for each corner of the button. Well, if we're supposed to have just an icon for the wishlist button, I like to make the button a circle. Let's make the radius 25 for each corner. 25, 25, and for the other corners. This means each corner have the same radius. That makes the button a circle. And finally, what the margin says, it is basically used to move the button, and these four numbers present up, right, down, and left respectively. It means each number shows the distance from the current position of the button. So let's check the current position of the button. Well, I want to move the button a little to the right and also to the up. So let's move the button 3 pixels to the up and also 3 pixels to the right. And do not change the other numbers. Okay, let's see how the button moves. I hope these numbers do not mess up the whole position. Okay, here we can see that our button turned into a circle and the position is almost okay, but we need to move it a little higher. And we can also increase the height and width of the button to make the display beautiful. So let's get back to the settings. Let's first change the dimensions of the button. I want to make this number 55 and the other dimension. And here, to move the button to the proper position, we should change the 3 to the -3. And also change this to, for example, 5. Okay, let's save and see what happens. Well, now the changes are pretty obvious. Although I think yet we can change the numbers more precisely, but let's put away the perfectionism and accept the numbers and the display of the button for now. So let's get back to the options and try different settings. So this time let's change the icon to text. Again, I don't want the default option. Here for the font number you can enter any number you want, but I think the inherit option is good. And for the button color, based on my website theme and that I want to make it look like the add to cart button, I choose the font color white and the hover color, I think red. Okay, the background will be red. Background hover, let's try white, and border also white. Okay, so let's check this out and see what happens. Okay, now you can see the icon has changed to text, but I think we should change it a little. The background and hover color seems okay, but the position should get a little low. So we should define the margin and the distance from the add to cart button. Let's see. For border width, I think this number is okay. And for the height, let's change it to the previous number. That looks same with the add to cart button. And I don't want border for the text because I want it to be same as the add to cart button. But we should change the margins. So I need to make it a little lower. So let me change the -3 to 5 to move it to the down. And let the other items be 0. Okay, now let's see what happens. Okay, I think the total display is okay, but yet we can change background color to be the same as the background of the add to cart button. However, I think this button also looks good and I don't want to change it anymore. But if you want, you can change a total different color for the background. So this was the text only option, and the last one is a combination of icon and text. That I think it's the best option, at least for my website and the theme I'm working with. Okay, let the icon be save and the font size is okay. And the other settings, I think they're okay too. Let's see, the border radius and other options almost have what we want for the combination, and we don't need to change. But here we have a new option that is a separator between icon and text. If we activate this, then we can choose the color that I think white is good, and let's save and see how the separator performs. Okay, this is the final output that I think it's the best option for my website, and I like the combination between the text and the icon, and the position is also recognizable and suitable. Based on your website and theme, you can choose the icon only or the combination and different colors. But if you want to choose the icon only, it's better to enable the tooltip for the button. Here, because we have selected the icon and text, the tooltip is disabled. But if I choose the icon only, you can see the tooltip option appears. If we activate this, it wants to define the position of the tooltip. I think the top is okay. And the color and the background, I think the combination between white and red is okay. And I don't want to change the border radius. Let's save settings and see what happens. So now you can see if you move the cursor around the wishlist button, a tooltip comes up that shows the add to wishlist text. So this was the settings for the product page. Let me again select the icon and text combination. That is the best choice for my website. Okay, now let's go to the settings for product list. First of all, you should define whether you want to show the wishlist button on your products or not. Let me turn off this option and see the effect on the website. Okay, save settings and let's go to the shop page. Well, here you can't see the wishlist button on any product image. This means you should enable the option to show the wishlist button on product list. Now we should choose where to display the wishlist button. Like the single product page, you have several options here too. For example, you can locate the button on the product image or near the add to cart button. Let me select the top left and see how does this show. Well, now you can see the wishlist button has appeared and the position is defined as we selected. Also, we have other options like near the add to cart button. It probably locates here. If you want to see how each option performs, you can check the wishlist documentation. If I show you the documentation for product lists, you can see here for the button position, it shows where each option locates the wishlist button. For example, it could be here or near the add to cart, or even using shortcodes and place the wishlist button wherever you want. But for my website, I think the top left is a good option. And the next two options are related to Gutenberg users. But I'm using WordPress, so I'll leave it. And from here to the end of the box, the settings are exact same to the single product page. And the only thing that matters here is to choosing the best color and dimensions for the wishlist button. So let's try different conditions for the wishlist button. I want to show why icon only is the best option for the product list. For example, let me choose text only and see how does this perform. Please take a look at product photos. You can see the text isn't properly located, and like here text goes outside the image. And sometimes like here text covers some parts of the image that make the product image unclear. And for all these reasons, I don't recommend using text only option for the product list. But wait, text only is far better than the combination of text and icon on the product list. For example, take a look at here. It's so strange. Look at the product image. Some parts of the text goes beyond the image. And I mean, it's not necessary to use the combination of these two. When you can use a tooltip for the button, I don't think you need to use both of them on the product list. And besides, the icons like heart or save is the global symbol of wishlist, so don't bother using additional text near the button. Focus on the icon only option, and let's see what should we do for this. Again, if we choose the default theme for the wishlist button, we'll see a display for button like what we saw in the single product page. But probably if you want to design an adaptable wishlist button, you should design it manually. You can see the default button looks like this, but the color, the margins, and the total display is not what I want on my website. So let me disable this and design the wishlist button. Well, for the icon, my suggestion is to use the same icon you have used for the single product image. This means if you choose the heart icon for the single product page, also choose the heart button for the product lists. And for the button style, because we are in the product lists and the product images are a little smaller, we can lower the font size. For example, I'll choose 10 this time. And let the color be the same red that we chose. Or let me choose white and make the background red, and the hover color can be also red. Okay, the background red, background hover white, border color I don't think it's necessary. No, okay, let me try border color white and the border hover color red, like the previous options that we chose for the single product. But here the story is little different. For the button size, I think the 1 pixels for the border width is okay, but the dimensions can be smaller for the product lists based on the font size that we chose. For example, let's try 30 and see what happens with the font size 10. And here also we can add a radius for the borders to make the button circular. Like if I chose the dimensions 30, let me try 10 pixels for all of the corners. And let me change the margins if it was necessary. So let me save the settings and see whether the position is proper or not. Well, now we can see the wishlist button looks like this. I think I'm okay with the total display, but let me check it on the shop page. Here, if I zoom the web page, I think the position is actually good because you can see the sale notification appears top right and the top left is a good option. But it seems that we can lower the dimensions of the button to make it look smaller. But the overall display of the button, I think it's good and we don't have problem here. So let's get back to the settings and change the dimensions. So let me try 20 for height and width. And let me keep this on 10 and see what happens. So now you can see the button has changed to a circle that looks pretty, and I think I like this one. And let me keep these settings. But if you want to move the button a little, you can choose the margin a different number. Even my button can move a little to up or to the left. But I think it's the highest position of the button and I can only move it to the left. So let's change the margin a little and make the total display a little better. To move the button a little to the left, we should assign a negative number for the last number. So let me try -5 for the last number and see what is the outcome. Okay, I think it probably moved to the left and there is no need to change anything. So let's keep this one for the product list. Yeah, I think it's good because it doesn't cover any product image and the position is well. And to finalize the product list page, let's assign a tooltip for the button. So let me enable the tooltip. It appeared top, left or right. I think this time let's try left. And for the color and background, the same colors we have chose. And let's lower the border radius this time. 3, I think it's okay. Let's save settings and finalize the product list. Okay, I think we have set all of the needed options. Here you can see we have the tooltip and it's properly displayed and the plugin works perfect. So I think that's it for the product lists. So let's move to the next round and define custom text for different parts of the button. Okay, now we have three options here. Let's check each item separately. The first one is the text that is shown where the cursor moves around the button. The default text is add to wishlist, but I want to make it a little friendly. So I choose the sentence, I like this item. Okay, the next one is, instead of view my wish list, we can say let's change it to show my wish list. And for the remove from wish list, we can choose I don't like this. Okay, I think it's good. First, let's save the settings and see what I've changed. So here we can see this sentence is shown instead of add to wishlist. Let me click on this and now it has turned to I don't like this item. And this way you can choose any other option for the custom text. Okay, let's go to the last box and define the notification text. So for the product added, we can say the item is in your list, or even the item added to your list. And for the next one, we can say you have liked this item, or we can say you have added this item. And for the product removed, we can use item instead of product, because for the other settings we use the term item. And the last item is related to when you make the login compulsory for the wishlist. Here you can change the default terms for the login notification, but I think it's okay and I don't need to change it. So let's save it and see the final changes. So let me again add or remove a product. So you can see the notification has changed, and let me add again. You can see the term, the item is added to your list. But it's better to use a text that ends in one line. It may take time for visitors to read the notification. But for now, I think we have covered all of the settings about designing the wishlist button. Okay, I think it's enough for today. If this video was helpful to you, please share it with your friends and don't forget to subscribe us for more videos. Wish you a good day. Goodbye.